again YouTube, JB from Oz here. So today I just thought I would give you a quick history of another project I had going on. Kind of came about because I managed to find a water tank for my property. Being that it needed to be repaired and put onto a decent sort of sand pad, the earthworks I had to do to get things sorted meant I needed a bit of earthworking machinery. So never being one to do things the easy way, I managed to find a mate of mine that had a bobcat. Now, he had a bobcat that was mostly all together. It was a Toyota SDK8, but unfortunately the bucket, the pins, the front end was a little bit, shall we say, in need of some love. You would put some grease in this thing, and you'll see the photos in a minute. Put some grease in this thing, and basically you'd use a tube of grease and not actually make any difference at all. So I figured that I might be able to do a bit of a quid pro quo, a bit of swings and roundabouts here. So I approached him and said, look mate, if you let me have your bobcat so I can do this water tank pad, I'll fix it up. I'll fix these pins on the front of it for you. He said, fuck yeah, no worries, let's do it. So didn't really speak to him for a little while, and out of the blue he rocks up with this thing on the back of a trailer and pulling behind his Nissan Patrol and tyres to the guards and everything. We kind of managed to get it off there and parked it up in the shed. I never really promised him a time frame on this job, but just that I'd get it sorted and that I'd then want to have the use of the machine to get my pad sorted. So about 6 months had gone by, and I was sort of slowly working my way through it, trying to figure out how to approach this thing. So anyway, I hadn't tried anything and I was already out of ideas, and had a look at this thing and started to think about line boring. Didn't have the machinery to do line boring, and then kind of got the feeling that maybe the best way forward would just be to cut the whole front end of this thing off and start again. You'll again see from these pictures here that it's not exactly something you just buff out. So first step was trying to figure out how I was going to align the replacement that I put in place. Bit of a scrap steel across the front and a 40mm diameter pin, and kind of set that up to what remained of the existing eyes on this thing, and welded it into place, clamped it so I could put the rod back in exactly where it was, and so I knew it would be on the right sort of plane, and measured it all up and everything. So I was pretty happy with the location of it all, and got out the gas axe and chopped the front of this thing off. We machined up some new big slugs of steel to make up the new eyes. We figured that if we were going to do it, we'd do it right, so we'd size it up so that we'd take the standard Toyota Bushings. I think they're about a 4mm thick wall on these things. So we had these new pieces all made up. We made some fixturing so that we could centre it on this 40mm bar, and then basically we were able to hold it in place while we got it arc welded back together. My cousin's a Boilermaker welder, so I let him do the critical part. Me only, apprentice welder in the best of times. So here's the result of that welding, and gave it a coat of paint. Looks beautiful. And then I started to look at the front end. I'll call it the H-beam. I don't know what the actual name of it is, but the bucket attachment. And because the pins were stuffed, any hydraulic racking that was occurring basically twisted and bent and broke that front piece there. So this is a project I figured I could easily tackle myself. So I cut that apart, ground off all the old crap, burnt up a new, well, it didn't bend, just got two flat plates, cut out some openings for it, lined it all up, set it in place, and migged it all back together again. Here you see some pictures of that finished result. I was pretty happy with it. Then we made a few pins. Those came together pretty quickly. My old man helped that. And then, of course, trying to fit the pins in through some of the other holes in it. They were a little bit worn as well, so we went slightly oversized on the pins, and then I just used some Dicam blue and just kept filing at the hole until I managed to work the pins the way through. So what was originally hot dog down a hallway kind of fit became honeymoon fit. Eventually got it all back together again, found that the rods had been bent quite ridiculously, so I straightened those up in the press as well, gave it all a lick of paint, got it all finished, and managed to get out of my property, do the work I needed to do, cutting out the pad, all in time for a water tank. So that, my friends, is how you get a water tank pad when you don't have any money. Catch you next time.